Hi, my name's Lisa, second year student from UCL.
Hi, I'm Leo. I'm second year computer science student.
Hi, I'm Zara and I'm a second year computer science student at UCL, and this is our systems engineering project.
When the user wants to generate a recommendation, they fill in a questionnaire and choose 5 keywords from the list. This data is then passed through to the backend, which is hosted on Azure Cloud. The first step to generating a recommendation is choosing random cities from a random city generator, which is done through the use of the data package API. When we've generated the random cities, we try and find key URLs on the web related to these cities and things you can do in these cities. Each of these URLs is then passed through IBM's APIs to determine the suitability of them for the user. The IBM API analyzes the text on each of the web pages and determines their sentiment through the Tone Analyzer API and picks out key themes from each of the articles using the Natural Language Processing API. These are then sent back to the cloud and processed. We use code in Python to determine how suitable each of the recommendations is. So we only allow recommendations with a sentiment score of higher than 0.5, as we don't want to send users to areas with negative reviews. The keywords selected in the form are compared to the key themes from the articles, and this determines how many keywords match the user's preferences, and this also helps determine how suitable the recommendation is for the user. Once we've come up with a list of cities to recommend to the user, we have to generate information about cities. And the way we do this is we use TripAdvisor's City Description API to find a description for each city. And we also use TripAdvisor's Flight and Hotel Booking APIs, which help us generate flight and hotel recommendations for the users based on their inputs for a number of people traveling, dates of travel, and their preferences in terms of their price budget. Once all this information is collected, it's stored in the recommendations table of our database. This information is then sent back to the user and displayed on the results page. Our database is stored using an SQLite file called app.db, and all our tables are defined in a models.py file. This file defines each of the table's names and the columns and the types for each column. Then migrations are used to update and populate the database. These are handled by Floss SQL Alchemy library. When the user registers for an account, they enter their details in the register page. This information is then passed through the web app to the backend, which generates a unique key for the user to enter, which is emailed to them. This will help confirm their identity before their account is created. And if they enter the correct key, their user account will be added to the database and they can continue and log in with the account. Otherwise, they'll have to go through the registration form again. A similar scheme is implemented for Forget My Password. So if the user has forgotten their password and wants to log in, we generate a new unique key which would be used to confirm the user's identity. This key would be emailed to the user, and then the user would have to enter it on the form displayed to them. And if they enter the correct key, they can proceed to resetting their password.
Without signing in, you can still look through our index page, enter your questionnaire, and look through recommendations, detail, and results. But in this situation, your top right corner will be Sign In and Register button instead of User Image, and My Trip will not be shown in either the navigate bar above or the footer. For registration, we check that whether there's an empty field or not in JavaScript, and the username has already been registered or the email has already been used in backend, and again flashing message and shown as alert in frontend. So for login page, the user can enter their username and password. In JavaScript, we check that the field is empty or not, and in backend we check that this username do registered and this password do match this username, or otherwise message will be flashed and shown as alert. So in detail, if your recommendation city is in London, then a 360 video instead of a picture will be shown. You can click or drag on it. We're working with Team 9 on this 360 video, but unfortunately other cities are not available for now because of the limited resources of 360 video. In user page, you can enter the country that you've been to before to light up the map. You can also rate that trip, and it will be shown as color difference on the map. The darker the color, the higher the rating. We aim to provide our web application for users to be used in anywhere and anytime. So responsive design to enable usage in different device size like phones, iPads, and desktop is necessary. So in phone size, every pages are ensured to be clean and easy to be used, like home page here, user page, and contact us. And in iPad size, so here's the questionnaire, the results, and detail.